Hi, today we're going to show you how to change an outlet. Now, any homeowner can do this themselves. Most of you are probably afraid of doing it. You don't want to get shocked or electrocuted. It is very simple. You can do it yourself, okay? If you don't feel safe, I would recommend you contact an electrician. If you do not feel comfortable doing this, absolutely call somebody that knows how. So the basic tools we're going to need are a Phillips head screwdriver, an electric meter. Now, you don't necessarily need this, but if you have one, they're very cheap. You can pick one up at Home Depot for $2. It's any meter that has two leads on it, similar to this, a red and a black lead or a black and a white, either way. And then you're going to need a pair of pliers. Now, you don't need electrician's pliers. You can use any pliers that you have. Anything will work. You just need to get the job done. So pretty much you're going to start with the most basic thing. You're going to take the outlet plate cover off, which is this right here. You're going to do that. As soon as you get your plate cover off, what you're going to see is your exposed outlet. And this is just a box that I rigged up to show you guys. I'll maybe post another video with an actual outlet and show you what not to do and what goes wrong if you touch the wrong wires, the wrong things. But for now, I'm just going to go with this one. So what you're going to want to do is always know when you get to this step, you need to kill the breaker. It's the first thing, very important. You don't want to electrocute yourself. It can be harmful to you, and you can get very hurt. So go ahead and go to your electrical box, and what you're going to do is you're going to kill the breaker by hopefully hitting the right circuit. And how you're going to know that is you can take an electric meter like this, or any meter that you have, and you're going to go ahead and turn it on. And then you're going to put the two leads into the receptacle, oops, on both ends, like so. Now when you do that, your meter is going to tell you numbers, okay? Now if this is a live receptacle, your meter is going to say something like 120 volts, 118 volts, somewhere around there. If it's a dead receptacle and you've killed the right breaker, it's going to say 0, or it's going to say like 0.1 or 0.8 or something. It's not going to be live, okay? At this point, we know the receptacle is dead. We've checked our outlet. We're now ready to take apart the outlet and change it. You're going to want to ahead and go and remove the two screws on the top of the outlet. They may be a Phillips, they may be a flathead. You know, you can use a drill, whatever you want. Apparently the screws I've chosen to use and show you here are pretty horrible. There's some nasty old screws I took off of one of my old electrical jobs, so bear with me here. It might take a second to get these out. Normally I would just use a drill, but not everybody has a drill. So okay, now you do want to save these screws as you take them out. All outlets come with new screws, but just in case it doesn't, you'll have a backup. So, when you finally get to your outlet, the thing you want to watch for if you were live at this point, or if you had forgotten to turn off the breaker, the only thing that can really do you harm on this whole outlet is this black wire here. And this is what I call the hot side. The other side is a neutral, which is your white wire here. A neutral, a hot, and the copper one is a ground. Okay, the ground is always a safety. That'll never hurt you, but be very leery of the black one. This will always hurt you. Okay, so try never to touch these if it's hot, or don't even play with it. But the first thing you want to do is, obviously test this at this point. Now that it's out, I turn on my meter, and I would take a lead to one of these sides with the black, and then I would take a lead to the other side with the white, and I would make sure that there's 0 before I go ahead and put my hands on it. And once again, we know we're safe to connect the outlet. So you're going to go ahead and unscrew the black lead, which is a hot on the right side. Take that off. So go ahead and unscrew the ground. We'll really unscrew all of them. Here, unscrew the common side. Now at this point, this is a common this is a common wiring you'll have in pretty much any outlet, a black, a white, and a ground. And the one thing you want to watch for at this point is we have these things on each side of the outlet. It's called a bridge. It's this little metal piece in between the 2 points, in between these 2 lugs here. It's on both sides. And pretty much what that does is if we hook power to the top, it transfers it to both the top and the bottom outlet with 1 wire. So you want to always check these bridges to make sure they're not broken off. If they were broken off, then that meant that one of the top switches, or one of the top outlets was meant to run on a switch. That way you could turn an outlet on or off in a room, and it's very important. If that's broken off, do not proceed from here. You know, watch another one of my videos and I'll show you what to do from there, because if you do hook this up with that bridge being broken, you will double feed this plug and it will blow up in your face. It will be sparks. It will not be funny. So definitely, if you do see this bridge broken on either side, stop right there and check for one of my other videos. Okay, but if you don't and the bridge isn't broken, go ahead and proceed from here. And this is your common old style outlet. This is probably what you're going to be changing out. And you'll probably be changing out to a newer style outlet. This is a Decora square outlet. And so at this point, we're just going to hook it up pretty much exactly how we did before. And when you hook these up, it's really simple. If you ever forget, the gold side, the gold lugs always go to the hot, which is the black wire. Always. Okay, so you're just going to take your black and hook that up to the gold side. And you can do it either or. It doesn't matter because there's a bridge here which links the 2 together. So once you wrap that around, I always like to take my pliers and give it a good crimp from here back, and that ensures that it's not going to come off of the lead there. A lot of people don't, but a lot of people have loose connections in their home and all of a sudden power goes out and everyone's wondering why, and that's probably your most common reason for that. So any empty leads you have, make sure to screw in. We don't want these touching anything else. Keep in mind this is going to be hot once we liven this outlet up. Okay. Once you have your black wire attached, you're going to go ahead and attach your white wire just the same. Okay, now if your wire's like that, like I said, I always like to give it a good crimp around it real quick just to make sure that my wire's not going to come off. Wrap it around nice, and then I screw it back in and make sure that that lead is solid connected. You always want to go clockwise around the wire. Don't ever bend it and hook it on the opposite direction. If you hook it on this direction, as you thread your screw in, it might undo this wire and it's not fixed there. Okay, so always do it clockwise. That way, as we thread in the screw, it only tightens the wire on instead of loosening it. Okay, so then we, like always, we screw in all empty leads here, terminals that we're not going to use, because we don't want those to be exposed or hit anything. We're going to hook our ground up last but not least here. Just like everything else. Oh, I was breaking my own rule. Clockwise. Sometimes this wire can be a little stiff and a little difficult, but you know, just got to put a little MAN into it and manhandle it a bit. We want to screw that on. And now your outlet, your new receptacle is all hooked up and ready to go. We have our black to the gold lugs, which is the hot side. We have our white to the common lugs on this side, and we have our ground hooked to the ground. Okay, and we notice our bridges are all connected. Our bridges are connected both sides, so we know that there's no cut power here to where we hook more than one wire up and end up blowing this plug or something. So at that point, you just, I kind of like to give it a bend, kind of grab it, I bend it, kind of push it down, and bend it again. You can always like twist back and forth if it's tough and it's stiff getting in there, but be careful not to damage any other wires or smash anything when you're putting this on. At that point, you can put your screws that you've saved back in your holes up here. Screw your outlet down. Like I said, I apologize for these screws. This is a used outlet. It's kind of stripped out, but we'll make it work real quick here.